Welcome to Fight IQ with Vaughn, where I break down and predict every UFC fight using my win probability calculator and my AI fight simulator. The win probability calculator takes all the data, weighs it, and spits out implied win probabilities, letting us know who's got the edge. The AI fight simulator is like our virtual octagon, running 10,000 simulations with real fight data. Strikes landed, strikes absorbed, takedown accuracy, cardio, age, layoff, you name it, and gives us a winner, method of victory, and the reasoning for its pick. So let's dive into the numbers, run the sims, and see who gets the W Saturday night. First fight of the night is between Begzat Almakhan and Brad Katona. Almakhan is the favorite at minus 162 with a layoff of over 430 days. Brad Katona is the slight underdog at plus 136. Money has been moving Katona's way. The win probability calculator leans to Katona as a slight minus 107 favorite, an implied win probability of 51.8%. The AI fight simulators pick Katona to win 75% of the time, 65% by decision. The fight simulator's prediction is Katona by decision. Almakhan is a dangerous striker with an 82% KO rate, and Brad Katona is an unsuspecting fighter with an insane durability and great wrestling. Almakhan hasn't fought in over a year, and it's Katona's backyard. There's a lot riding on Katona's shoulders, opening up the UFC 315 card in Montreal, but Katona is looking to break through and become a UFC contender. I think the caliber of fighters that Katona has fought is better than that of Almakhan's, with the exception of Umar Nurmagomedov. My pick is Katona by decision. Next up, we have Daniel Santos versus Young Lee. Daniel Santos struggled on the scales, but he finally made weight at 146. Currently, Lee is sitting as the favorite at minus 118. Santos is the slight underdog at minus 102. Almost a coin flip. Money has been moving Lee's way. The win probability calculator leans to Lee as a slight minus 121 favorite and implied win probability of 54.7%. The AI fight simulators pick Lee to win 70% of the time, 45% by decision. The fight simulator's prediction is Lee by decision. Lee recently lost a sensational KO to Haider Amir. I think that the fight plan in that was obviously wrong and trying to go stand and bang with Emil. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. Santos hasn't fought in almost 2 years. The amount of council fights that he's had is ridiculous, at 15 total, and he had 3 fights canceled prior to this one. Is he in a perpetual training camp? I don't know. He didn't look that great in weigh-in. I don't like his lack of consistency, and I don't think that he's going to come back in optimal shape to the octagon. He does throw a lot of volume, but he has poor striking accuracy at 39%, and Lee has decent strike defense at 55%. More importantly, Lee's offense keeps strikers at bay, absorbing only 2.81 significant strikes per minute. My pick, Lee by decision. Next up, Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva is another one that struggled on the scale, weighing in at 187, 1 pound over the limit. The lines pretty much remain steady. I would expect that to start moving Barriault's way. Barriault is the favorite at minus 148, and Silva is the underdog at plus 124. The win probability calculator leans to Barriault as a minus 133 favorite, and implied win probability of 57%. The AI fight simulator picks Barriault to win 55% of the time, 38% by KO. The fight simulator's prediction is Barriault by KO, TKO, round 2. The AI fight simulator does give Silva a 45% chance to win, 39% by KO. Neither fighter has great cardio, and both are on a significant losing streak. I think that the loser of this fight gets cut from the UFC. And Barriault can't lose at home again. Silva does have the power to turn the lights out, but I don't think his cardio or desire are there. To his credit, he's fought a murderer's row, and he is durable. The home advantage should hopefully be a factor, and I do not have any confidence in Bruno Silva. My pick is Barriault by KO or decision. Next up, we have the prospect Navajo Stirling versus another up-and-comer, Ivan Erslan. The line's been moving in Stirling's favor. going from a minus 298 to a minus 310 almost overnight. Erslan is a moderate underdog at plus 250. The win probability calculator has Stirling as a sizable minus 318 favorite and implied win probability of 76.1%. The AI fight simulators pick Stirling to win a whopping 80% of the time, 55% by way of KO TKO. The fight simulations prediction is Stirling by KO TKO round 2. Stirling reminds me of Dalsim from Street Fighter, big, powerful, long-limbed kickboxer. He has crisp strikes and just a really long reach advantage of 7 inches. I think Erslan's in trouble here. He recently lost a split decision to Ian Cutelaba. It doesn't instill confidence in me that he's going to be able to get it done against a superior striker in Stirling, who doubles his volume. My pick is Stirling by KO, round 3. Speaking of Cutelaba, next up we have Ian Cutelaba versus Modestas Bukauskas. Red Wolf said this is like the Hulk versus Thor. Both fighters are on a 2-fight win streak. The line's been steady with Bukauskas sitting at a slight minus 112 favorite. Cutelaba, he's about even money at a minus 108. The win probability calculator has Cutelaba as a slight favorite at minus 131, an implied win probability of 56.7%. The AI fight simulator picks Cutelaba to win 60% of the time, 48% by way of KO TKO. The Sims prediction is Cutelaba by KO TKO round 1. Just when you think Cutelaba is done, he strings along a couple of performances and makes you say, But Bukauskas is also coming off back-to-back impressive wins. This one was a difficult one to pick for me. I wanted to lean Cutelaba because of his wrestling, but I think the low durability from each one is going to make this fight not go the distance. I wanted to pick Cutelaba by decision, but after talking to Red Wolf and him letting me know a little bit of inside info as to how Bukauskas has been training with Aspinall with that BJJ and takedown, I'm going to lean Bukauskas to win by KO. Next up, we have the Canadian Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Jessica Andrade. Jasudavicius has amassed a 4-fight win streak and is looking to extend it to 5. The line has moved towards Jasudavicius, pushing her to a minus 310 favorite. The win probability calculator has Jasudavicius as a huge minus 446 favorite and implied win probability of 81.7%. The AI fight simulators pick Jasudavicius to win 75% of the time, 40% by KO TKO. Pretty large. The fight simulator's prediction is Jasudavicius, KO TKO, round 2. I'm not really sure what the deal is with Andrade. She seems to have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out with UFC and OnlyFans. And she seems older than what she really is. She's only 33 years old. I look for Jasudavicius to implement her grappling and her wrestling to control Andrade for all 3 rounds. Could we see a ground and pound TKO? Sure, but I think Andrade is pretty durable, and JJ only has a 15% KO rate, so I'm going to pick Jasudavicius by unanimous decision. Next up, we have the feature prelim between Canadian Mike Malott and Charles Radtke. Both are also coming off wins. The line has moved significantly towards Radtke. I think people are trying to find some value there, and there could be some. The win probability, though, has Malott as a moderate minus 200 favorite, an implied win probability of 66.7%. The AI fight simulator picks Malott to win 65% of the time, 48% by way of submission. The fight simulator's prediction is Malott by submission round 1. That's a pretty ballsy pick right there. Malott, I think he could submit Radtke. I think Radtke can KO Malott. Malott has been KO'd twice, but Radtke has never been submitted. So this is an even fight on the feet, and Radtke's takedown defense is excellent at 100%, so he definitely has the tools to win. I'm just not sure if he has the experience to beat Malott. It's going to depend on what Malott has learned to manage his cardio. I can't get that Magny loss out of my mind. I'm still going to give Malott another chance to solidify his UFC trajectory, and I pick Malott to get it done by decision. Kicking off the main card is Benoit Saint Denis versus the late notice Kyle Prepolec. Prepolec hasn't fought in almost a year. The win probability calculator has Saint Denis as a huge favorite at minus 953, an implied win probability of 90.5%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Saint Denis to win 92% of the time, 60% by way of submission. The Fight Simulator's prediction is Saint Denis by submission round 1. I fully expect Saint Denis to handle Prepolec in under 3 rounds. He should finish him in the first. There's a saying in law that goes, a man who's his own lawyer has a fool for a client, or a man who represents himself is a fool for a client. And this sort of applied to Saint Denis in his last fight, where he admitted he didn't have a head coach against his fight against Moicano after firing Daniel Warren, and instead opted to hire his friends and local coaches to act as some sort of jerry-rigged camp, which obviously was a dismal failure. He has a head coach now, Nicholas Ott, who's Nasruddin Imamov's coach, and he's looking to get he looked like he got the shit beat out of him in camp too. If you saw pictures of him, his face was all bruised up. So it's probably a good sign, probably a proper camp. No one's holding back. You know, I'm not going to get cute and pick short notice fighters who haven't been on the scene for a while. I'm certainly going to go Saint Denis. I'm going to take him by submission round 1. But if he doesn't get this job done, there's going to be a lot to be said Sunday morning. Next up, we have Natalia Silva versus the former champ Alexa Grasso. There's certainly been some disrespect on Grasso's name, having her as an underdog. Money has been pouring Silva's way, and Grasso's odds actually swelled from a plus 180 to a plus 205. The win probability calculator does have Silva as a favorite at minus 184 with an implied win probability of 64.8%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Grasso to win 52% of the time, 26% by way of decision. The Fight Simulator's pick is Grasso by decision, and I tend to agree with the sims in the calculator. Silva, to me, is primarily a point fighter, a taekwondo specialist. She has a blue belt in BJJ. Grasso's striking is more impactful and her grappling game is more dangerous than Silva's. Silva will definitely have a speed advantage, and if this fight goes to decision, I could see her maybe winning by split decision. But you can't count Grasso out. You know, she's had 3 fights against the best female in MMA, Valentina Shevchenko, and I think those fights made Grasso better and made Valentina better. And Grasso's championship experiences is what's going to edge out a decision victory. Give me Grasso by split decision. Next up, we have the Hall of Famer Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. Jose Aldo looked terrible on the scales. They actually had to move the fight up from a bantamweight to a featherweight fight to accommodate Jose Aldo, who came in at 143 pounds. People have been placing money on Zahabi as reflected by the line movement. And I'm not going to lie, so have I. When I first saw the line at plus 190 for Zahabi, I instantly threw money down on that. I just could not wrap my head as to why Aldo is such a favorite, with the exception of maybe name recognition. He is the favorite at minus 196. The win probability calculator has Zahabi as a slight favorite at minus 121. An implied win probability rate of 54.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Zahabi to win 55% of the time, 35% by way of KO TKO. The Fight Simulator's prediction is Zahabi to win via KO TKO round 2. I bet Zahabi unanimous decision at plus 330. I bet Zahabi to win by split decision at plus 900. You know, Aldo is the king. He's the legend. He's the Hall of Famer, but he's also 38. He's also previously retired, and he's also coming off a split decision loss against Mario Batista. You know, I think he's going to give it all he's got. He always does, but I think Zahabi, with his 5-fight win streak, is going to get the job done in Montreal. Give me Zahabi by decision. Next up is the co-main event between Manon Fiorot and Valentina Shevchenko for the women's bantamweight title. Money's been moving at a frantic pace towards Shevchenko, reducing her odds from a plus 136 to a plus 114. Having her as plus money is absolute bananas to me. Manon is still the favorite at minus 135. The win probability calculator has Shevchenko as a slight favorite at minus 109, an implied win probability of 52.2%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Shevchenko to win 70% of the time, 42% by way of decision. The Fight Simulator's prediction is Shevchenko to win via decision. And like I said, the disrespect on the champ's name is absolute bananas. It's crazy. Valentina has more tools to beat Fiorot and the skills to remain the champion. I don't believe it's Manon's time. I'm not sold on her hype. Give me Shevchenko by decision. That leads us to the main event between the champ Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena for the men's welterweight belt. Belal has remained the moderate favorite throughout, hovering between minus 238 to minus 192. Bettors are looking for an underdog opportunity, and they have been putting money on JDM. The win probability calculator has Belal as the favorite at minus 175, an implied win probability of 63.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Belal to win 70% of the time, 56% by decision. The Fight Simulator's prediction is Belal by decision. I got Belal is not the most exciting fighter. I get that. I get the fact that that people hate the extreme confidence that he has in himself. But facts are facts. Belal's cardio is second to none, and he often uses that as a weapon against his opponents. And on Saturday night's not going to be any different. I think that's what we're going to expect from Belal, and it's consistency. When we watch the JDM versus the Gilbert Burns fight, everybody knows JDM was losing that fight until he caught Gilbert Burns with a knee, put him down, and ended it with some elbows. He earned a broken arm for his efforts, and I'm not really sure how that's going to perform in this fight. I don't think it's been tested since it's been fixed. So I am going to take the tried and true champ, Belal Muhammad, by decision. And still, I hope you guys take the opportunities to find the edges in the bets. Good luck, and as always, bet responsibly.